Recording in progress.
Okay, so up to Daf Nun Testament Beis, 3 lines to the bottom, Gufa. This is a teaching that we had a couple days ago. Amr of Chanina, Trisa, Amr of Yanai. This is the first teaching that we had about replanting onions and the status of things that grow around it. So Rav Yanai said, Betzel shel Truma. You have an onion of Truma, so you're not allowed to eat it if you're a non-Kayan. Shenatu, and you replant it, V'rabu gidulav al ikroi, and the new growth, so you replant an onion that's Truma, and then it grows around, let's say the onion is 5 pounds, and 6 pounds of new bulbs grow around it. The halacha is mutter. Everything's mutter, meaning the growth is not truma, and it's mevatel the truma. So you put in something aser as truma, but the growth that grew around it is not truma, and it's mevatel the truma, so you remove the truma. Oh, so that's what we had a couple days ago. So the Gemara says, Lamemra, you see from here, the gedule, we're on the Daf Samach, heter mailinus iser. You see that the growth of heter is mevatel the iser. Here's the problem, meaning that if you plant an onion of truma, what grows around it is not truma, and it's a mevatel the truma. Here's the problem. Tanan, the Mishnah says, it's a Mishnah in trumas, gedule truma. The growth out of truma is considered truma, meaning if you take truma seeds and you plant it, what grows is truma. So if you have an onion that's truma, and you replant it, how is the growth not truma? The growth has to be truma. So what is Rav Yanai talking about? So the answer is begedule kamrinan. You're right. Rav Yanai is talking about gedule, meaning it's not a case where you took an onion of truma and replanted it, and then what grows around it is not truma. Because the truth is, what grows around the onion is considered truma. The case is, you have onion A, which is truma. You replant it. Then around it grows onion B. Then you take onion B and replant it, and grows around is onion C. C is not truma, and it's mevatel onion B. So it's called gedule. So Rav Yanai was only referring to gedule. So gedule truma is truma, but gedule truma is not truma. The Gemara says, so what do you have to tell me that? The Mishnah over there says gedule and chulin. Why was Rav Yanai needing to tell me this? So the Gemara answers, Hakam Ashmula Nafilu Bedavar Shein Zarei Kala. The Chiddush of Rav Yanai, while that Mishnah says gedule of truma is not truma, that was referring to seeds that decompose. Meaning the Mishnah over there was not talking about onions. The Mishnah was talking about you have, I don't know, you have what the decompose average seed. You have a cucumber that's truma, and you plant it, and then the seeds decompose and it grows cucumber B. Then you take cucumber B and then replant it, and cucumber C is not truma. Rav Yanai is adding a chiddush that even by an onion where the original bulb is still intact, still gedulin is not truma. The Gemara says, but why is that true? Vatanan, the Mishnah says, hatevel gedulav mutarin. If you take tevel, which is fruits and vegetables that Trumas and Meiser are not separated, and you plant it, what grows is considered a mutter. Bedavar she'zarei kala, but that's only true when the seed decomposes. Al bedavar she'ein zarei kala, gedulin asur. And the halacha is that when you have produce that the seed does not decompose, like onions of tevel, gedulin is aser. Meaning, when it comes to onions, because they don't decompose, whatever grows from them is going to be a problem. Whether it's gedulin, 3 madrigas, 4 madrigas, it's all a problem. So how could it be? So how could Rav Yanai say that gedulin is mutter? Gedulin should be a problem. If by tevel it's a problem, stam by truma it's also a problem. So we're saying that Rav Yanai is saying gedule of truma is mutter, but why? It should be users. The answer is Ravuya de Rabu Gidulana Ikre Mutter Kmashwan. The answer is both Rav Yanai is correct and the Mishnah is correct. The Mishnah implies that gedule of truma is a problem. Rav Yanai says it's not a problem. So how do you reconcile? The answer is how much growth is there? Meaning, you have Rav Yanai was, when Rav Yanai said it's mutter, what he means is, what's the case? You have an onion, you plant the onion. The second onion grows, you take the second onion and replant it, the third onion grows. The halacha is, the third onion is mutter. The Mishnah implies not like that. The answer is, it all depends on how much the growth is. When the Mishnah says it's a problem, it's talking about where the growth is not bigger than the root. So let's say the original onion you put in was 5 pounds. If the growth is not more than 5 pounds, then it's a problem. When Rav Yanai says it's mutter, it's talking about where the growth is more. So it's not just that, any new growth is mutter. No. It has to be where the new growth outweighs the original bulb. That's when it's mutter. When it's not, then it's aser. Now it's the Mishnah is referring to. Okay. Hadron Allah Hanoidim in Yerk. End of that Mishnah. End of that parak. Start the new Mishnah. Mishnah says, Koinim Yayin Shani Taim Hayoim. Again, the Mishnah is talking about different Lashonis and what they mean. If a person says, I swear, I won't drink wine Hayoim today, what does today mean? Today is not 24 hours. Today is until the end of the halachic day, which means until nightfall. Shabbos zu, if a person says he won't drink wine this week, this Shabbos, also b'chol Shabbos, he's not, it doesn't mean 7 days. What it means is finish the week, so he makes the nether on Tuesday, so he's not allowed to drink on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The Shabbos Shavra, and Shabbos is also included in the Isser, meaning it's Isser until Sunday. It's not 7 days, it's until Motzei Shabbos. If someone says he's not going to drink wine for this month, also b'chol chodesh, he's not allowed to drink. It's not 30 days. It's you finish the calendar month for Rosh Chodesh L'Haba, but you're allowed to drink on Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Chodesh is not included in the nether of Chodesh Zeh. Shana zu, if a person says he's not going to drink wine this year, also b'chol Shana, he's not allowed to drink wine the entire year. For Rosh Hashanah l'aseh lavoi, and Rosh Hashanah is already next year. Rosh Hashanah is mutter. It's not included in the prohibition. Shavua zeh, if a person says he's not going to drink this 7-year cycle, it doesn't mean 7 years. Also b'chol shavua, it means you go until Shemitah. The Shavia Shavra, and Shemitah is part of the nether. It's included in the nether. Now that's if he said Hayom, Shabbazu, Chodesh zeh. But what if instead of saying Hayom, he says Yom Echad? Now Yom Echad does not mean until the end of the day. It's 24 hours. Yom Echad is 24 hours. Shabbos Achas, 1 week, that's 7 days. Chodesh Echad, that's a full month. Shana Achas is 354 days. Shvua Echad is a 7-year cycle. Those are not the end of this limitation. That's a specific amount of date. Ada Pesach, if a person says he's not going to drink wine until Pesach, Asar Shegia, he's Asar from that point until Pesach, but he's allowed to drink wine on Pesach, meaning Ada Pesach implies up to and including Erev Yom Tov, but the second Pesach starts, the nether is over. Ad Shiyahei, but if he says he's not going to drink wine Ad Shiyahei Pesach, then it's also Ad Shiyahei, that includes Pesach as well. So that the nether is up to and including Pesach. Ad Lifnei HaPesach, let's say he says Ad Lifnei HaPesach, so Ad Lifnei HaPesach is apparently a lashon that we're not sure if it's Ad HaPesach or Ad Shiyahei. Ad Lifnei is a confusing lashon, so because it's unclear, Rav Meir Omer Aser Ad Shiyagia, Rav Meir is makel that it's Aser until Pesach arrives, but on Pesach you're allowed to. And Rav Yossi Rav Yossi is machmer. It's a machlokes whether it's aser until Pesach or until and including Pesach. Okay, start the Gemara. Koinim yayin shani toyim. So we said if a person says he's not going to drink wine today, he's aser until nightfall. Says the Gemara, Rav Yirmi adds a chiddush. Likashetechshach. When nightfall happens, tzaru sheilas chacham. You still need to do ataras nedarim. Meaning, it's aser until nightfall. But after nightfall, it's not mutter. It just means now you do ataras nedarim. So the Gemara says, why? Nighttime, what's the reason? If the nether is over, why do you have to do ataras nedarim? Rav Yosef gezerah hayoim mishum yom echad. The reason why we make him do ataras nedarim, even though the nether is over after nightfall, is because we're afraid people are going to get confused. You see, if you say hayoim is until nightfall. Yom Echad is 24 hours. We're afraid that people are going to get confused. So therefore, if you go until nightfall, if you were to say Yom Echad, it would be Aser for another 15 hours, 17 hours, whatever. It's a 24-hour period. So we don't want you to be lenient by nightfall because we're afraid that people are going to get confused between Yom Echad and Hayom. And therefore, in order to make it clear, even when you say Hayom, even though it's mutter Hashetashach, it's mutter by nightfall, you still have to do a Taras Nedarim. Go to the next page. So Amar Lei, so Abaye says to Rav Yosef, Ihachi, if you're telling me that we're afraid that people are going to get confused between Hayom and Yom Echad, so if you say Hayom, it's Aser until nightfall, but we're not going to let you be lenient because we're afraid that people are going to get confused and they're going to be lenient in it when you said Yom Echad, even within 24 hours, so why don't you do the reverse? You see, if you say Yom Echad, that's 24 hours, but if you say Hayom, it's until nightfall. Now, there could be a situation where 24 hours actually ends before nightfall. I'll give you an example. You said, what's the time? Ligzar b'Yom Echad m'shum Hayom. Meaning, let's say the case is, let's say it's the middle of the first day, and you say Hayom. It's right before nightfall, so you say Hayom. So I think the assumption is you mean tomorrow's nightfall. Now, if you go by 24 hours, 24 hours is done before nightfall. So the Gemara is saying if you're gonna afraid that people are gonna get confused, then even if you say Yom Echad, it shouldn't be mutter after 24 hours. You should have to wait. You should have to do a Taras Nedarim, because even after 24 hours, if you would say Hayom, it would be also until Ashetechshach. Yeah, look at the Ran. The Ran says the top Ran. If we just allow it at nightfall, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, the first Rashi. Meaning, apparently, when we say that it's us until nightfall, it means the nightfall where it's a full day. So if, let's say in the morning, Sunday morning, you say Hayom, the assumption is you're usher until the next day, Monday, nightfall. So if you just lenient after 24 hours when you say Yom Echad, you should still do Ataras Nedarim, because people are going to get confused between Yom Echad. After 24 hours, they're going to think, so you don't have to wait for nightfall. Meaning, if you're going to be machmer one way, you should machmer the other way. Now, yeah, I think that's the point. It's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that. But 1 second. Now, yeah, okay. Fine. Says the Gemara, so why is it that we're only machmer one direction, not the other? So Amrle Hayom b'Yom Echad michlef, Yom Echad b'Hayom lo michlef. The answer is people get confused when you say Hayom. They'll get confused between that and Yom Echad. But if you say Yom Echad, they're not going to get confused between that and Hayom. Okay, so meaning people get confused in one direction. They're not going to get confused in both directions. Okay. Another reason why we're machmer that by Shetechshach you still have to do a Ataras Nedarim. Amar Ravina Amar Le Mereimar Hachi Amar Avucham Shei Rav Yosef Kiman Ozla Shmait the Rav Yirmi Bar Abba who's machmer that says even after nightfall we still make machmer that you do Ataras Nedarim. Where did he get it from? It's an upshot. It's Rav Nosson. He's following Rav Nosson. The Tanya, we had this yesterday. Rav Nosson Omer Kolanoider Kilu Bana Bama Amakaima Kilu Makter Aleha. The halacha is that Rav Nosson used to say whoever makes a neder is like building a bama, and whoever fulfills the neder, it's like bringing a sacrifice on the bama. So you see that Rav Nosson is against the premise of fulfilling nedarim. That's why even after techshach, when the neder is fulfilled, you should still do ataras nedarim to show that you're not interested in keeping nedarim. So it's like an added penalty because to show how uninterested we are in fulfilling nedarim. Shabbazu asur b'chol Shabbos kula pshita. So we said that if you say Shabbazu, it's asur for the rest of the week, and Shabbos is included in the isur. Pshita, yeah, it's pashut. Mao the semi yomi the Shabbos kamar. You might think that he means only the weekday, but Shabbos is not included in the nether. Kamash malot. So the chiddush is that Shabbos is included in the nether as well. The Gemara continues. Chaydish asur b'chol chaydish Rosh Chodesh Lapa. Then the Mishnah said that if you say Chodesh Zeh, it's Aser for the rest of the month, but Rosh Chodesh is not included in the nether. So the Gemara says Pshita, it's Pashit. What's the Chiddush? The Gemara says the Chiddush is Ki Yitzrich l'Chodesh Chaser. The case is where it's a Chodesh Chaser, meaning the case is where the next month is a Chodesh Chaser. This month is a full month, but the next month has 2 days Rosh Chodesh, meaning we have 2 days Rosh Chodesh basically. Mao the same Rosh Chodesh over have a litzar kamashmal and kari in Rosh Chodesh. Meaning when you have 2 days Rosh Chodesh, the first day Rosh Chodesh is really the last day of the previous month. So you might think that it should be included in the neder, right? We said Rosh Chodesh is not included. The Gemara says you might think that when it's 2 days Rosh Chodesh, the first day should be included because the first day is really the last day of the previous month, so it should be included in the neder. Kamashmal, no. When people say Rosh Chodesh, they don't. Rosh Chodesh is not included in the month. Rosh Chodesh is the new month, even though it's technically the last day. In people's minds, Rosh Chodesh is not included. So when he says Chodesh Zeh, he did not mean to include Rosh Chodesh. Shana zu asa b'chol shana kula. Ibaylu ha'bekasha. So we said in the Mishnah that there's a difference between Hayom and Yom Echad. Here's the shayla. Amar koinim yayin shani toyim Yom. What if he just said Yom? He didn't say Yom Echad, he didn't say Hayom, he said Yom. Dine Hayom Yom Echad. Is it like Hayom that it's Aser until nightfall, or is it Yom Echad and it's Aser for 24 hours? So, Tashim HaMasnisan, let's try to bring a proof. Again, I'll spoil the Gemara. We're trying to figure out what is the status if you said Yom. So we're trying to bring a proof. Is it Hayom or Yom Echad? we're going to try to find it from the Brisa, from the Mishnah, because the Mishnah describes, right, you have A, which is Hayom, Hayom. You have B, which is Yom Echad. That's covered in the Mishnah. We're trying to figure out C, which is Yom. So the proof is going to be, well, the Mishnah describes A. It doesn't describe C. Then the Gemara says, yeah, but it also describes B and it doesn't describe C. So you see that maybe our Mishnah is just not talking about C, and you can't deduce it either way. So the Gemara says, Tashim HaMasi, so let's try to bring a proof from our Mishnah. If you say Hayayim, the Mishnah says it's also until nightfall. The implication is Hayayim Kemech. The implication is that if you said Yayim, it's not like that. Yayim is 24 hours, because when the Mishnah specifically listed the length of the one that's also by nightfall, it says Hayom. It doesn't say Yom. So you see Yom is 24 hours. The Gemara says, well, wait a minute, Ema Seifa. But then look at the next line of the Mishnah. It says, what's 24 hours? It said Yom Echad. It doesn't say Yom is also for 24 hours. So you can't deduce either way, because it's not listed in the Mishnah. And you're not going to say, well, it doesn't list Yom. Well, yeah, it doesn't list Yom either way. You can't bring a proof from a Mishnah. I will stop here and pick up on Sunday.